Good morning. Come, whoever you are. You are welcome here. We are a community of seekers, a free faith and a beloved community grounded in the principles of Unitarian Universalism. Our Unitarian side calls us to be the ones who show up to fight for justice. Our Universalist side calls us to do so with a spirit of radical love and hospitality. All people of goodwill are welcome here. So wherever you have come from and wherever you are going, come as you are. All are welcome. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter your gender, whom you love, how you speak, or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You are welcome here whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. In a moment, we will take the time to greet one another. I invite you to reach out and connect. Really connect with a hug or a handshake to as many people as you can, especially those you don't know yet. Good morning and welcome to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. My name is Matthew Morris. My pronouns are he, him. I am a very tall white man with glasses wearing blue. It is my privilege to serve as the worship associate for this morning's service. Our beloved Reverend Laura is enjoying her sabbatical and will return to us later in the fall. We are excited to have Amy Rushin with us as our guest speaker and worship leader for this morning's service. All right, a couple of announcements. The food drive continues through the end of July. Please bring things to contribute. Service in the park begins August 3rd. Do we have any more details on service in the park?
Murray Park, Pavilion 2.
Wonderful. Murray Park Pavilion 2, August 3rd. And then potluck today after service. We will see you guys downstairs. Let us now take a moment to fully arrive and welcome one another with joy. Wait, you're all still sitting. Before we do that, let's all say hi to the people on Zoom. And now let's take a moment to welcome each other with joy. Please stand and remain standing in body, mind, and spirit as you are willing and able for our opening hymn, number 288, All Are Architects. Please remain standing as you wish. Matilda, I need your help to light the chalice. As we light this chalice, let's say our chalice lighting words. We light this chalice for the warmth of love,
For the light of truth, and for the energy of action, and for the flames of resistance.
All right, thank you all for coming and sitting down with me. Good morning. I appreciate you all being here. Can anybody see the top right-hand piece of art on the altar? If you can see it, can anyone tell me what it is? What those are paintings of? Yes.
Kites.
Kites. Kites is exactly right. That's what I want to talk to you guys about.
The reason I know is because of that.
It's yours? Did you make it?
No.
But you own it. Okay, that's cool. Thank you for letting us put it up there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Here we go, guys. Kites.
Tiger?
Yeah, a tiger kite. What else? What else do you see?
Tiger.
What other kind of kites do you see? Go ahead.
A
There appear
butterfly.
to be multiple kinds of insects and other winged creatures.
Many insects and winged creatures. Yeah, I'd say the tiger might be the odd man out there.
There's also a frog, I think.
Yeah.
This might be a frog.
No, the green thing.
This is a frog. That's definitely a frog. There's a butterfly and a dragonfly. What else? A jellyfish.
I don't see the
So, and the cool thing is, we don't all have to see the same thing. It's kind of like clouds, right? We can all see what we want to see in the kites.
I think I actually see a snake.
A snake.
I think I see
So-
some type of sail.
A sail
It's near the tiger.
near the tiger. Well, you know what? We're actually going to talk about sails in a little bit. You are prescient. You are looking ahead. But for the moment, I want to talk about kites. What's important about a kite? Like, can someone give me, how do we define a kite? What is a kite, right? I want to know, there are a couple of different things that make up a kite. Yes, young lady.
It has like a cross of sticks.
Okay, it has a cross of sticks, so it's supported. It's stiff, right? It's not floppy. The fabric that it's made out of is kept stiff by that cross of sticks, and it's not floppy. What else?
A kite is typically a quadrilateral piece of fabric held together by a more rigid support system with a long string attached to the ground that can be pulled in or out depending on how you want it to work. There is also often some pieces on the sides and end for fun reasons.
Okay, like little things that trail around and just look cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I think those are the two really important parts, right? Or maybe three. The fabric, go ahead.
Well, kites I forgot.
You forgot? That's okay. If you remember, just let me know. I think the important parts of a kite are the fabric, the wood crosses that make it stiff, and the line, the cape, like what are we calling it? The string.
Oh, yeah,
That
and how fragile it is.
they can be fragile, can't they? Especially if they get tangled up in things, huh? That's really scary when a kite gets tangled up in something.
Yeah, my kite is fragile.
Your kite's fragile?
Yeah.
So,
Even know what a kite is because I never flown it.
you've never flown a kite?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something that we need to remedy.
I've flown a kite. I've flown a kite
Raise your hand if you've flown a kite.
3 times.
Okay, I think we should have a kite flying experience at some point because flying a kite is a lot of fun. There are all different kinds of kites.
2 times.
2 times? That's a lot of times.
Today we're doing that?
No, not today. We have to plan that. I don't have any kites.
What about next Sunday?
Let me think about it and I will get back to you and I'll make sure I let everybody know, okay?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to fly a kite. All right, quickly now. What can a kite represent? Think about how a kite flies and how it is still tethered to the ground. Give me a couple ideas of what you think a kite can represent in like stories or in literature.
Maybe a bird.
Maybe a bird, okay. I think a bird is a great example.
Kites may represent the ability to rise above all of the annoying things for a while. Though knowing that
To rise above all the annoying things for a while. I love it.
while knowing that you have
I
to
know.
go back to the ground at some point in time.
While knowing that you still have to go back to the ground because you're tethered there. Okay. Yes.
So, kites fly because
Kites fly because they have wings.
And flies, and you can release it, and they can fly when you click it.
Yeah. So
And the wind takes it up.
what happens to a kite if you let go of the string?
It flies away.
It flies away.
Sometimes it falls down.
Sometimes it falls down, but most of the time it flies away. And when a kite flies away, like a balloon, like it's no longer a kite, right? So the string is an important part of being a kite. I like to think of kites as embodying the idea of freedom, but also at the same time the idea that you have to come home again because you're tethered to something. Does anybody else have something else they'd like to say about kites today?
Me.
Yeah, tell me.
If you just do a quarter around the city,
Yeah.
it will go down.
It'll go down?
Uh-huh.
That's really cool. I want to see you fly a kite.
Me too.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah, like if you put too, you see, if it has too much, if you got it too far away from it, it will actually fall down.
Yeah, that's right. If you have a kite and you give it too much string, it'll fall out of the air. You're exactly right. All right, one more time. Let's go. One more.
We got a nice full sky. Then we got all new kites.
All new kites?
Uh-huh.
That's really cool.
All of us.
All of you?
Uh-huh.
What color is yours?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay.
Mine maybe blue. It's blue.
It's blue.
At the park, I saw kites flying all over the place.
Well,
Mine is pink and it has unicorns all
all right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate your time listening to me. Please put your cushions away and go back to your families. Actually, I'm sending the kids back to their families. We're actually going to sing them out. We've got religious education down today. This community, our church, and its many ministries are only made possible by the gifts you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many of you pledge monthly to support our work, and for this we are grateful. Your gifts help to ensure that we are able to live our values of love and justice in the outside world. Part of our ministry at South Valley includes sharing our Sunday worship offerings with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles and values. Our partner for July and August is Encircle. Please join me in reading our offertory words. They are printed in your order of service, and they are on the screen up here. We are the church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. We will now accept the offering. For those at home, you are invited to use the giving link in the online order of service. Those of you here are also invited to do that. I invite the ushers to come forward at this time. For all we have received and all we have found the courage to give, may we be truly grateful. May these gifts be a blessing on South Valley and on Encircle. All right. I have some thoughts, and I want to share them with you. And the first thought I have is that there is no avoiding the wind. We live in a world that moves around us and through us, gusting with politics and systems and expectations. Some winds are soft, others brutal. But they all push, they all press. Whether we like it or not, the air is moving. We often speak of life as a journey, but we don't always speak of what that journey requires. You don't just stand up and arrive somewhere. You don't simply drift into justice. You don't coast into courage. Movement requires pressure. Direction requires resistance. And resistance begins with naming the wind. Some winds try to knock us off our feet. Racism, cruelty, disinformation. Others are quieter. The pressure to conform, to stay silent, to give up, to fit in. They all move us unless we learn how to meet them with purpose. You cannot control the wind, but you can learn to sail. It's counterintuitive at first. The sail doesn't move a boat by going along with the wind. It moves by resisting it, by setting itself at just the right angle, not too open, not too tight, just enough to catch the wind's energy and redirect it. Resistance is purposeful, it's adaptive, it's angled. It asks, what force is coming at me, and how do I meet it in a way that takes me where I need to go? The sail doesn't fight the wind to win. It partners with it, redirects it, bends its force towards something meaningful. That's what resistance can be. You don't instinctively know how to trim a sail or stand on a deck in a storm. The same is true for resistance. We aren't born knowing how to hold our ground. We aren't born knowing how to speak up without burning out, or how to love fiercely without letting the world's cruelty make us bitter. These things must be learned through mentors, through community, through experience, and through failure. Like any craft, resistance requires practice. Practicing how to adjust when the wind shifts, how to rest without giving up. And we must learn how to let others teach us. People who've weathered storms longer, who can say, I've been here before. Trim the sail. Every good sailor was once a beginner, tangled in the ropes, soaked in salt, scared of capsizing. They only got better because they kept showing up. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Vietnamese Zen master, poet, and peace activist who taught the world that mindfulness could be a form of resistance. Exiled for opposing the Vietnam War, he became a global voice for compassionate nonviolence. He faced storms with stillness, not by bracing against the wind, but by breathing through it. He didn't resist like a wall. He flowed like water. When confronted by injustice, he didn't react, he responded. Sometimes with public protest, sometimes with poetry, sometimes with silence more powerful than speech. His resistance wasn't predictable. It was mindful, rooted in presence and perception. He didn't rush to meet every wave with force. He didn't yield to every pressure. He chose when to speak and when to let stillness speak for him. He stood in the wind without becoming part of the storm. He held tension without becoming hard. And his resistance, it had direction. It wasn't just refusal. It was movement. Movement toward peace, compassion, awakening, and liberation. That's what sets mindful resistance apart from reactivity. One leads us somewhere. The other leaves us spinning in place. We often picture resistance as an individual act, someone standing alone in the face of a system. And like Thich Nhat Hanh, sometimes it is, but long-haul resistance, the kind that bends the arc of history, has always been communal. Communities of resistance look like people learning to sail together. It's not about agreeing on every maneuver. It's about staying in the boat together, committed to the same direction, trusting that tension shared is tension softened. In these communities, there's room for adjustment, room for doubt. They know that storms come. They also know how to ride them. These are the people who remind us you're not alone. You're not too late. You're part of something that knows how to withstand pressure. Communities of resistance check each other's rigging. They watch the horizon. They hold the tiller when others need rest. They keep the boat afloat. It's easy to confuse resistance with rigidity, but they're not the same. A wall blocks. It says, nothing gets through. A sail says, I'll let the wind meet me, but I'll decide how to respond. Walls can be brittle, but sails move. Sails respond. Sails translate energy into progress. Resistance at its best is directional. It takes us somewhere. It bends us toward the good, even when the wind is blowing the other way. Resistance is not the destination. It's the way we get there. The wind isn't going to stop. That much is certain. It will keep blowing, and we will have to meet it again and again with wisdom, with courage, and with practice. But we don't have to face it alone. We have ancestors, teachers, friends, and communities who have sailed before us, who have mapped the stars, read the currents, and left behind the stories for us to learn from. So learn your rigging, practice your knots, tend your relationships, study the wind, and keep showing up. Resistance is not something you do when things get hard. It's something you carry in your posture, in your values, in the way you listen, speak, rest, and stand. You were not made to drift aimlessly. You were not made to sink. You were made to sail. And every gust you face is an opportunity, not just to endure, but to move. So set your sail and let's go.
I'd like to share a reading. It's a poem I heard the other day from a friend, and I think it ties in to what Matthew was saying about Thich Nhat Hanh's form of resistance. I hope it brings some hope during these challenging times. Existence is Resistance by Karen Kaiser. If the best you can do right now is just enough to survive, then do it. Take a walk. Take a bath. Drink some water. Eat something. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rest. Repeat. Your existence is resistance. Good morning, beloveds, both here in person and online. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you for inviting me in to share some reflections with you. My name is Amy Russian. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a petite, older woman with dark hair and a white stripe. I'm wearing a striped dress and a blue sweater. I moved to Salt Lake last August to participate in a chaplain education program called CPE at St. Mark's Hospital. Although I have never owned a sailboat, I have had the good fortune of playing on friends' sunfishes as a kid, crewing a tall ship on a transatlantic crossing, and sailing on a friend's boat in the Pacific Northwest. These experiences have taught me a great deal about sailing, and by extension, about life. Sailing for me brings together the components of this month's theme, wind and resistance, and is a metaphor for many life experiences. Sailing, this harnessing of nature's forces can be for many a spiritual experience. Indeed, sailing is a dynamic activity, similar to life. Sometimes progress seems slow. Sometimes we are tossed and turned, and sometimes wind and resistance align to create smooth sailing. There are multiple forces at play in sailing, including the wind, the sail, the keel, and the rudder, and of course, all the lines that are used to alter the direction of these forces. I'm a work in progress when it comes to learning nautical knots, but I ask if any of you can tie a bowline. Yes, that's the one where the rabbit comes out of the hole, runs around the tree, goes back in the hole. Keep your hands up if you can coach me on that one, please. Thank you. Okay, back to the theme. Wind and resistance work together to intentionally move a sailboat. And sometimes you don't even have to have a destination. Sometimes you can just sail for the pure joy of it, the thrill of feeling the power of nature as the boat glides through the water, and the exhilaration of being moved, both physically and spiritually. When our friend Court talked about sailing a couple of months ago, I looked at the rafters and ceiling of our beautiful sanctuary with awe and admiration. Take a second to look up. And for those of you online, try to imagine. To me, the ceiling looks like the ribs and planking inside the hull of a finely crafted wooden boat. As a roof offers protection or resistance to the forces of wind, rain, snow, and weather, so does the hull of a sailboat. A sailboat's hull, especially its keel or centerboard, offers resistance to the forces of the wind that are captured by the sail. Without the opposing force of the keel, the wind's power on a sail, would simply push a sailboat sideways or even capsize it. So marine architects work on the finer points of hull and sail design to perfect the balance between wind and resistance. This balance is the sweet spot that sailors seek. It's natural to think of wind and resistance as adversaries. I struggle with that because on a sailboat, they actually join forces to work together as a team. So I prefer to think of them as partners. The dynamic balancing of the forces of wind and resistance helps get the boat, or us, to a destination. But the wind's speed and direction can be notoriously fickle, just like events in life. Things may be going along smoothly, and then something happens. The wind dies, or picks up, or changes direction. When that happens in a sailboat or in life, you adjust for it. On a sailboat, you change the sail's shape, change its angle to the wind, or adjust your course. In life, we have developed ways to cope with challenges, some healthier than others. Let's take a moment to think about the metaphoric sail trimming we make in our lives. Perhaps, like me, there are some you want to maintain and some you want to leave behind. Sailors also use telltales, short red and green ribbons attached to each side of the sail. Take a look. They indicate how smoothly the wind is moving over the sail. When the telltales on both sides of the sail are aligned or parallel, you know you've maximized the force of the wind. When the telltales are swirly on one side or another, as they are shown here, the wind is not being used as well as it could. Telltales guide the crew to trim the sail to use the wind to its best advantage. I would sure love to have telltale indicators to tell me how my life is going. But wait, perhaps I do. I just need to be more aware. When I am stalled out, when my sail is flapping, I get a yucky feeling in my gut. Or I notice I'm spending way too much time on social media. When I'm making efficient forward progress, I feel exhilarated. What are the telltales in your lives? Imagine using telltales for your relationships. Are your ribbons in sync? Instead of saying, I'm mad that you didn't do the dishes, ask your partner, what do we need to do to get our telltales aligned right now? But like life, traveling by sailboat is not linear. You can't head straight into the wind on a sailboat. You have to tack, zigzag, back and forth to get to a destination upwind. Metaphor alert, I think I might refer to it as tacking when my life seems to be on a course that's a little less direct than I'd like. And honestly, that is most of the time. In our personal lives, wind can represent an unexpected shift in what had been our reality, perhaps showing up as a loss, a death, a move, or a realization that something needs to change. We might not want to deal with this shift in our reality. That is our resistance. We might find ourselves saying no to those forces of change, perhaps out of fear, a desire to not cope, or a craving for the security of the known. But the wind may have something to teach us. It will move us forward, helping us grow and develop. Although I fully resisted a wind back in 1990, that was the inspiration to attend divinity school, that wind returned 5 years ago. This time with a more consistent direction and less swirling. Additional forces in my life converged to strengthen that wind. A spiritual reawakening, involvement in different faith communities, and experiences as a spiritual care volunteer. When the wind strengthened, I redirected my resistance. The seas felt a bit rough, so I turned that resistant energy into an exploration of how I can make going to grad school at age 60 workable, how I could navigate the finances, and how I could manage the negative voices, both within me and around me. It was not easy, and it was not a direct line. Yes, I tacked to use these forces to move myself in the direction I wanted to go, to a seminary with a strong chaplaincy program. In embarking on that sailing adventure in my hometown of Boston, I felt both scared and exhilarated. And now, I feel incredibly grateful that the partnered forces of wind and resistance took me in that direction, guided by a compass that I cannot fully explain or understand. The unexpected can happen on sailing adventures, just as it happened for me in Boston. I wound up graduating in the very same chapel that my parents had been married in some 70 years earlier. The effects of forces larger than myself were decidedly at work. I want to stay open to them in the future, especially since I'm not sure what the next chapter holds. The wind and resistance of the past 5 years have brought me here, right here, with you, and I want to remain aware of the balance of wind and resistance moving me forward. I will be watching for my life's telltales. These two forces, wind and resistance, work together to morph and shift culture and ourselves, sometimes slowly, sometimes dramatically. There's a continual interplay between them. Please take a moment to breathe deeply and notice where these forces are stirring in your lives. What wind is trying to carry you somewhere new? What are you resisting, and why? What resistance in your life is asking to be transformed into energy, into movement, into action? Friends, these questions can serve as a springboard for daily reflection, helping enrich your life and purpose, help enrich your life with spirit and purpose, and take you to destinations yet unknown. May it be so. Amen.
Please stand in body, mind, and spirit as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky.
This one we know, so let's go for it.
Please remain standing as you wish for the extinguishing of our chalice, and join us in our words and actions as we extinguish this chalice. The words are in your order of service and on the screen, and you are invited to say them out loud with me. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. We hold each other in our hearts until we meet again.
And please take these words with you. May the wind of spirit move through your life, and may your resistance be wise, courageous, and compassionate. May you gracefully harness both forces to move you in the direction you intuitively desire.